Sophia stands in front of Blaze Academy, her heart racing. Finally. She takes a deep breath, absorbing the beauty of the school, the grand architecture, the crisp autumn air, and imagines the friends she might make here. A friendly teacher approaches, offering a warm smile. "Welcome, Sophia. Let me show you to your class." The teacher gestures for Sophia to follow, leading her down a long hallway. At the classroom door, the teacher pauses. "Class, this is Sophia Anderson, your new classmate." Sophia steps inside, scanning the room. The students glance up briefly, some curious, others disinterested. The teacher gestures toward an empty seat at the back of the room. Sophia smiles politely and takes her place, scanning the room in search of friendly faces. "Please let them like me," she thinks. Just then, a girl named Charlotte returns from the restroom. Her eyes widen when she notices Sophia. A sneer crosses her face. "Who brought a black hippo into the classroom?" Laughter erupts across the room. Sophia's face flushes with humiliation. Her stomach drops. Why are they laughing at me? She clutches her bag tightly, trying to shrink into her seat, wishing the ground would swallow her whole. Before she can retreat further into herself, Henry, the class's golden boy, stands up. His face is serious as he looks at Charlotte. "That's really mean, Charlotte." Charlotte shrugs, unconcerned, her smirk widening. "Oh, sorry. I meant an elephant, and black." More laughter. The sting cuts deeper for Sophia. She wanted to blend in, to be herself, but now she felt like an outsider in her own skin, small and powerless. Why do they hate me? As the laughter subsides, Sophia steals a glance at Charlotte. She knows the rumors. Charlotte is the daughter of Charles Bond, the famous actor. Her best friend, Ava, comes from a family of celebrities too. Her mom's a high-end fashion designer working for Epic Studios. The two girls always had to be at the center of attention. And if that meant tearing others down, so be it. Sophia spends the rest of the day in silence, her head down, avoiding their stares. Every time she catches Charlotte and Ava whispering and giggling,
"Oh my
she
God."
just wants to go home. But she knows she can't. She has to be brave. One day, she promises herself, I'll find people who see me for who I really am. After school, Sophia trudges toward the dormitory, her bag heavy against her shoulder, her head low. The teasing still echoes in her mind, and her heart aches with embarrassment. Suddenly, she hears footsteps behind her. She turns, surprised to see Henry catching up. "Hey, Sophia." She forces a smile, still unsure of what to say. "Hi, I just wanted to say, I'm sorry about what happened earlier. That was totally unfair." Sophia shrugs, trying to appear unfazed, even though her chest feels tight. "It's fine." Henry doesn't buy it. He tilts his head slightly, studying her with quiet empathy. "No, it's not. You shouldn't have to deal with that." Sophia's heart softens, a flicker of hope igniting. "So, do you stay in the dorm, or do you go home after school?" "I stay in the dorm." Henry nods, his friendly smile never fading. "That's cool. Would you want to hang out sometime? You know, as friends?" Sophia's heart lifts just a little. She hadn't expected this kindness. "Yeah, I'd like that." They share a brief but genuine smile before they part ways. As she walks toward the dorm, a small spark of hope warms Sophia's chest. Maybe, just maybe, things could get better. The next day, Sophia sits alone in class, the loneliness settling in like an old friend. The bell rings for lunch, and she gathers her things, walking slowly to the cafeteria. As she enters, the buzz of laughter and chatter surrounds her. She watches as students sit with their friends, exchanging jokes and stories. "I wish I could be a part of that," she thinks, but she's too afraid to even try. Scanning the room, she looks for a place to sit, but the tables are already crowded with cliques. "Maybe I'll just stay out of the way," she decides, choosing an empty table by the window. She sits down, pulling her lunch out of her bag, trying to keep a low profile. Before she can take a bite, she hears a friendly voice. "Hey, Sophia, mind if I join you?" Sophia looks up, her eyes lighting up. "Someone wants to sit with me?" "Oh, of course!" She smiles, feeling a little less alone as Henry pulls out the chair across from her. "So, how's it going? How's the school, the food, the teachers? Sophia is about to answer when a shadow falls over their table. She looks up, startled, to see Charlotte standing there, with her arms crossed, followed by her sidekick, Ava. Charlotte's eyes lock onto Sophia with an unmistakable sneer. "Hey, Hippo, what are you doing with my boyfriend?" Henry's expression hardens, his tone firm. "Correction, Charlotte, I'm not your boyfriend. I'm your ex-boyfriend." Charlotte rolls her eyes and tosses her hair back, uninterested. "Whatever." "Charlotte, it's time to move on. I have." Charlotte doesn't back down. She just glares at Sophia. Ava, standing behind Henry, scoffs and speaks up. "Are you seriously going to defend her? Look at her. She's just a black hippo." Henry's eyes flash with anger. He stands up, fists clenched, his voice shaking with fury. "Don't ever call her that again." The entire cafeteria has fallen silent. Sophia feels the tension rise in her chest, her heart hammering. She quickly places a hand on Henry's arm, whispering urgently, "Henry, please, it's okay." Henry's shoulders tense, but he sits back down, his anger still simmering. The cafeteria attendant hurries over, trying to defuse the situation. "Charlotte, please, go back to your seat." Charlotte rolls her eyes and crosses her arms, unbothered. "Or what? What are you going to do? Touch me? Hit me?" She smirks, her voice dripping with entitlement. "Don't you know who my dad is? He'll shut down this whole school and have you locked up. Then he'll throw away the key." Sophia's tired of taking it. She stands tall and meets Charlotte's gaze with a calm that surprises even her. "Who exactly is your dad?" The cafeteria falls completely silent. It's the first time anyone has ever stood up to Charlotte like this. Ava laughs, stepping forward. "Oh, it's because you're new here. You don't know who you're messing with. Her dad is Charles Bond, the famous film star. Every movie he makes is a blockbuster." Sophia raises an eyebrow, unfazed. Is that why she barks like a hungry dog? A stunned silence fills the room. Students glance nervously at each other. Even Henry's expression falters with surprise. Sophia has just hit back harder than anyone expected. Charlotte and Ava exchange a look, equally shocked. Sophia offers them a cool, calm smile. Then she turns to Ava. "And you? Is your dad also a superstar?" Ava puffs up with pride, eager to brag. "I'm Ava, daughter of Monica, the famous fashion designer who dresses all the top celebrities. She even works for Epic Studios, you know, the most prestigious film studio in Hollywood." Sophia doesn't flinch, keeping her smile in place. Impressive. "But who's your dad? Because I didn't know Epic had a clown division." Charlotte interrupts, her voice dripping with mockery. "Fatso, who's your dad? I bet he's some cafeteria worker at a school like this." "What? Did he get a scholarship here? Maybe for disability? I mean, look at you. Ms. XXL." The entire cafeteria bursts into laughter, and Sophia feels her face burn with humiliation. She can't stand the weight of their stares, the whispering, the cruel laughter. She presses her hands to her face, her heart heavy with shame. She's had enough. Unable to hold back the tears, she stands up quickly, grabs her bag, and runs out of the cafeteria, her footsteps echoing in the silence behind her. Sophia runs out of the cafeteria, her heart pounding in her chest. She doesn't stop until she finds a quiet spot beneath a large tree by the playground, where she sinks to the ground, hugging her knees tightly. Her breaths are shallow as she fights to keep the tears at bay. But when Henry appears in her peripheral vision, she can't hold it in anymore. The tears spill over, each one carrying a bit of her pain, her humiliation, her loneliness. Henry kneels beside her, his presence soft but steady. "Don't cry, Sophia." Sophia sniffles, wiping her face with the back of her hand, but the tears keep coming. Henry looks at her with kindness in his eyes, his voice low and sincere. "You're beautiful just the way you are. Don't let anyone make you feel any less than that." Sophia's sobs start to quiet, but she shakes her head, her voice barely a whisper. Why is she so mean? Henry sighs, looking down at the ground for a moment, as if weighing his words carefully. I know Charlotte better than most people. We actually dated for a while. Sophia looks up at him, surprised. She wipes her eyes, trying to hold herself together as he continues. She's always made fun of people, even me, just to feel powerful. But I couldn't take it anymore, so I broke up with her. Sophia's expression softens. She hadn't known that Henry had been on the receiving end of Charlotte's cruelty, too. She made fun of you? Yeah. Charlotte loves to hurt people with her words. It's how she stays in control. But don't let her win, okay? You're kind, Sophia. That's something they'll never understand. Sophia takes a shaky breath, a flicker of strength sparking in her chest. She looks up at Henry, gratitude mixing with the remnants of her sadness. I'm trying, but it's so hard. Henry smiles, a warm, genuine smile that lifts her spirit a little more. I know, but you've got something they don't. You have heart. Don't let them take that from you. Just then the bell rings, signaling the end of lunch. Henry stands, extending his hand to Sophia with an encouraging grin, ready to face them again. Sophia looks up at him, her eyes still red from crying, but a small spark of courage is beginning to grow within her. She takes his hand, standing with him. She wipes the last of her tears away, feeling lighter than she did moments ago. As they walk back to class together, whispers trail behind them, but Sophia doesn't let them break her stride. She keeps her head high, her chin slightly lifted, refusing to let their words sink in. She promises herself, never again will they make me feel small. Months passed, and each day at school felt like a battle. Charlotte and Ava seemed to make it their mission to break Sophia, mocking her at every turn. They targeted her clothes, her size, her skin color, even the way she spoke. It didn't matter how hard Sophia tried to stay out of their way, they always found a way to pick on her. There were days when she just wanted to leave, to never come back. One day, in the middle of it all, she tried to extend an olive branch to Charlotte and Ava, but her kindness only fueled their cruelty. They laughed at her attempt at peace, mocking her even harder. On those days when it all felt too much, when she felt like giving up, Henry was always there. His support never wavered. He reminded her of her strength, her worth. You're stronger than you think. Don't let them take that from you. With Henry by her side, Sophia found the courage to keep going. Little by little, she started to believe in herself again. The night of the school's Christmas party has arrived, the one Sophia has dreaded for weeks. The festive atmosphere is filled with twinkling lights, snowflakes drifting through the air, and cheerful holiday music. But for Sophia, the joy is overshadowed by anxiety. She tries to mingle, forcing a smile as she navigates through the crowded room, hoping to blend in. But her eyes keep darting to Charlotte, who is lurking nearby, a smirk playing on her lips. Sophia can feel the tension building, the quiet anticipation in the air. Charlotte is waiting for the perfect moment to humiliate her, and she knows it. As Sophia turns to walk away, her worst fear is realized. In a swift motion, Charlotte steps forward and pours a glass of red juice directly onto Sophia's white dress. The liquid stains her completely, the bright red a stark contrast to her pale dress. Black Santa's here. The room falls silent for a split second, and all eyes turn to Sophia. The weight of their gaze presses down on her, mortifying her in a way she never thought possible. Her heart sinks. She wants to run, to hide, to disappear, but something in her freezes her to the spot. Then, from the side of the room, Henry steps forward. His face is serious, his eyes focused. He doesn't hesitate. That's enough, Charlotte. He walks toward her, his voice steady and commanding. You're not going to get away with this. Sophia's breath hitches. She doesn't know what to say, but the humiliation of being the center of the room's attention is overwhelming. She turns away, trying to compose herself, but then she hears the unmistakable sound of Charlotte's voice again. Sophia turns to find Charlotte standing just behind her, holding up her phone. She's recording, a cruel smile on her face as she captures the scene of Sophia's stained dress. Sophia clenches her fists, the mix of anger and embarrassment bubbling up inside her. Delete that video, Charlotte, right now. Charlotte laughs, crossing her arms defiantly. And what if I don't? What are you going to do, huh? Sophia takes a step forward, her eyes narrowing as she faces Charlotte. Her voice is steady, stronger than she ever thought she could be. I'll show you exactly what I'm made of if you don't delete it. The hallway falls silent as the crowd watches in shock. Students exchange looks, amazed by Sophia's newfound courage. Even Henry stands a few steps back, stunned by what she's saying, but he doesn't hesitate to back her up. Come on, Charlotte. Just delete it. This has gone far enough. Charlotte only smirks, unfazed. Sophia's patience snaps. Without thinking, she lunges forward and grabs at the phone. Charlotte's eyes widen in surprise as they both struggle, each gripping the phone tightly, neither willing to let go. A crowd forms around them, watching with bated breath as they wrestle over the phone. Just then, a teacher rushes over, her voice stern. "What is going on here?" She steps between them, pulling the girls apart. Sophia quickly explains the situation, her voice filled with frustration and anger. The teacher listens, her expression softening with understanding. "Give me that phone, Charlotte." Charlotte's face twists with anger, her grip tightening on the phone. "No, it's mine." The teacher remains calm, her voice unwavering as she takes the phone from Charlotte's grasp. "We'll see about that." She scrolls through the phone, finding the video of Sophia's humiliation. The teacher looks at it for a moment before turning back to Charlotte. "Let's delete this. It's not fair to make fun of others like this." The teacher is about to press delete when Charlotte suddenly snaps. "Give me back my phone. You don't know who you're messing with." Her words are sharp, laced with rage and entitlement. The teacher's calm expression shifts. Her voice lowers, serious now. "This has gone too far, Charlotte. I'm taking this to the principal." The students gasp. Charlotte's face turns a furious shade of red. "My dad will deal with you. He'll have you fired and Sophia expelled." Her voice echoes through the hallway as she storms off, her threats hanging in the air. But the teacher doesn't flinch. As the teacher walks away with the phone, Ava appears in the hallway. She doesn't ask what happened. She just picks up where Charlotte left off, joining in with the insults. Later that evening, back in the privacy of her dormitory, Charlotte wastes no time. She dials her father's number, her voice shaky, but full of self-pity. "Dad, they humiliated me. They took my phone, treated me horribly. You have to do something." Charles Bond's voice crackles through the phone, furious at the injustice. "Don't worry, sweetheart. I'll take care of it. You'll get your phone back within 24 hours. If it weren't for the awards function I have to attend, I'd come down there myself." Charlotte's anger fades, replaced with the smug satisfaction that her father will take care of everything. The following day, the principal calls everyone involved into his office. Charlotte, Sophia, Henry, Ava, and the teacher who had confiscated Charlotte's phone. They sit in uncomfortable silence, the weight of the situation hanging over them. The tension is palpable. Suddenly, the principal's phone rings, cutting through the quiet. He glances at the screen, his eyes widening when he sees the name, Charles Bond. With a shaky hand, he picks up the call, his face paling. Yes, Mr. Bond. What can I do for you?" From the other end of the line, Charles Bond's voice booms, sharp and full of fury. "How dare you people take my daughter's phone? Who is the teacher who had the audacity to touch my daughter? Do you know who I am? I can tear your school's reputation apart in minutes." The principal's face tightens with fear. Everyone in the room falls silent, even the teacher startled by the intensity of the actor's rage. "And the student who laid a hand on her? I want them both punished. Do you understand me?" The principal tries to speak but is immediately cut off. "Give Charlotte her phone back now. And as for the students, their parents need to be at this school next week. You'd better be ready to explain yourselves." The principal nods, his throat tight. He doesn't have the courage to argue. "Yes, sir." The line goes dead with a click, and the principal sighs deeply. With visible reluctance, he slowly hands Charlotte her phone. Sophia watches, her stomach sinking. She feels a sharp sting of injustice. "But she hasn't deleted the video yet." The principal shakes his head, his expression one of helplessness. "Sophia, I'm sorry. I wish I could do something. But this is out of my hands now. The situation's escalated. You, Ava, and everyone involved will have to bring your parents next week. There's nothing I can do." Charlotte, a smug smile creeping across her face, looks at Sophia and Henry with a glint of triumph in her eyes. She walks out of the office, her head held high, leaving Sophia feeling utterly crushed. Tears well up in Sophia's eyes, But before she can wipe them away, Henry gently places a hand on her arm. His touch is warm, offering some comfort in the overwhelming moment. "Don't worry, Sophia. This isn't over. We'll figure it out." Sophia looks up at him, her heart heavy, but his words bring a small flicker of hope. She wipes away her tears, her resolve beginning to solidify again. The battle isn't over, but the fight is only just beginning. Later that evening, Sophia sat in her dormitory, the weight of the day pressing down on her chest. She picked up her phone, her fingers trembling as she dialed her aunt's number. The phone rang a few times before it was answered. "Sophia, is everything okay?" Sophia's voice cracked as she spoke, the words barely escaping through her tears. "Aunt, it's Charlotte. She humiliated me in front of everyone today. She poured juice on my dress and posted a video. Everyone's laughing at me. They're calling me names." There was a long pause on the other end, and Sophia could feel the silence like a heavy weight. She could almost hear her aunt's breath, steadying herself. Then her aunt spoke, her voice now laced with quiet anger. That's horrible, Sophia. You shouldn't have to deal with that. I think it's time we call your father." "No, please, Aunt. Don't tell Dad. I don't want to involve him. It'll just make everything worse. Please, I can handle this on my own. I just need you to come next week like the principal asked. Just be there for me." Sophia could hear her aunt hesitate, the weight of her decision lingering in the quiet between them. Finally, her aunt sighed. "All right, Sophia, if that's really what you want. But remember, I'm here for you. I'll be with you every step of the way." Sophia felt a small, fragile sense of relief. Her aunt's words were like a lifeline in a sea of uncertainty. She swallowed hard, trying to steady her emotions. "Thank you, Aunt. I love you. I love you too. We'll get through this, I promise." After the call ended, Sophia sat there for a moment, staring at her phone. Her heart felt heavy again, the battle ahead already looming in her mind. She wasn't sure what would happen next week, or how she would hold up, but she knew she couldn't back down now. As she placed the phone on her desk, Sophia instinctively scrolled through her social media feed, hoping for some distraction. But when she saw it, her heart stopped. There it was, the video. The one Charlotte had posted for everyone to see, the juice stain, the cruel taunt, the laughter. Sophia's hands shook as she clicked on the video. Her stomach churned. She dared to look at the comments. Her eyes scanned the page, and the words blurred before her. The comments weren't just cruel. They were personal, biting, filled with mockery and judgment. Every word was like a little dagger to her heart. "Look at this clown, what a joke. Did someone order the Black Santa? Ms. XXL, get a diet plan, girl." Sophia's chest tightened. She tried to hold back the tears, but it was impossible. Hot, stinging tears slid down her cheeks, one after another. How could she be this cruel? Each comment felt like a physical blow. Sophia's world seemed to shrink down to the cruel, hateful words on the screen. She felt exposed, naked in a crowd of strangers. The laughter, the mocking, it all seemed to echo in her mind, drowning out everything else. She curled into herself, wrapping her arms around her knees, but the tears wouldn't stop. The pain, the humiliation, it felt like it was too much to bear. She wanted to run away, to escape the eyes of the world, but she couldn't. The day of the big meeting had finally arrived. Sophia and Henry sat side by side on the playground, both carrying the heavy weight of what was to come. Sophia's heart felt like it was sinking, the uncertainty clouding her every thought. What if everything goes wrong? Just then, the distant sound of engines rumbled in the air, growing louder and louder, until the unmistakable roar of luxury cars echoed through the school gates. Henry's heart skipped a beat. "That's Charles Bond, Charlotte's dad." Sophia tensed. She could feel the fear creeping up her spine, the dread of the confrontation that was just beginning. As if on cue, Charlotte sauntered over, a wicked grin curling at the corners of her mouth. She stopped in front of them, her eyes gleaming with triumph. "I told you I'd make you pay." With that, she turned on her heel and walked away, her smirk never fading, heading straight to Wakata, her father. Henry clenched his fists, his jaw tight with frustration. His pulse raced in his ears, and he could sense the tension mounting in the air. Sophia felt a similar knot tightening in her stomach, but she tried to steady herself. She had to stay strong. From the window of the school, they watched as Charlotte and her father walked into the principal's office, the door closing behind them. Henry looked at Sophia, uncertainty flashing in his eyes. "Let's go. We should get to the office." Sophia nodded. As they made their way toward the principal's office, Sophia's nerves only seemed to grow. She kept scanning the hallway for any sign of her aunt, hoping for some comforting presence to help her through this moment. Just then, Ava and her mother appeared, walking purposefully down the hall toward the office. When Ava's mother saw Sophia, she stopped in her tracks, her eyes widening in surprise. "What are you doing here, Sophia?" Sophia hesitated, but before she could speak, Ava tugged at her mother's arm, clearly embarrassed. "Mom, don't make this weird. Do you even know her?" "Yes, I know her. I'm one of her family's designers." She paused, glancing at Sophia with a respectful nod. "Her father is the owner of Epic Studios." Ava's jaw dropped, her eyes widening in disbelief. "Wait, she's really important?" "Yes, Ava. Her family is legendary in the film industry." Ava stood frozen, her face going pale as she realized who Sophia was. But before the silence could settle, the unmistakable sound of a fleet of black cars pulling into the school gate interrupted. Students started whispering, their eyes glued to the convoy. Is that Epic Studios? It can't be. That's the owner's convoy." The cars came to a stop and the doors swung open. From the largest vehicle, Mr. Anderson, the tall, confident owner of Epic Studios, stepped out, surrounded by his bodyguards. The students were awestruck, and for a moment the world seemed to pause. Sophia's heart raced when she saw him. She rushed forward, her face lighting up as she called out, "Dad!" She threw her arms around him in a tight hug. Mr. Anderson returned the hug, but his expression was serious, concerned. "Sophia, what's going on? Why didn't you tell me about this?" "I didn't want to bother you, Dad. I thought I could handle it." Before he could respond, Sophia's aunt emerged from the other car and walked up beside them. She looked at Mr. Anderson and gave him a nod. "He saw the viral video and called me right away. I told him everything." Sophia looked down, feeling guilty and small, but her father placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You should have told me sooner, Sophia." Sophia nodded, still too overwhelmed to respond. Henry stood off to the side, his eyes wide with shock. He had been wondering for weeks if there was something more to Sophia's story. Now, the truth was right in front of him. "Sophia, who is he to you?" Sophia turned to him, offering a gentle smile. "I'm sorry I didn't tell you, Henry. He's my dad." Henry's mouth dropped open in disbelief. "Oh my goodness!" He rushed forward, shaking Mr. Anderson's hand with excitement. "Good afternoon, sir. It's an honor to meet you." The students around them stood in stunned silence, murmuring in disbelief. The quiet, shy girl they had known all this time was the daughter of the most powerful film studio owner in Hollywood. Ava, still processing the information, turned to Charlotte, her face pale. Charlotte had been watching the scene unfold, and her eyes widened in shock. What is Sophia doing with him? With the owner of Epic Studios? "She's his daughter." Charlotte's mouth dropped open. Her hands flew to her face in shock, unable to believe what she was seeing. At that moment, Charlotte's father, the actor Charles Bond, emerged from the principal's office. He froze when he saw Mr. Anderson standing there. Charlotte's father, with his practiced charm, forced a smile and extended his hand. "Good afternoon, Mr. Anderson. It's a pleasure to meet you." But Mr. Anderson didn't shake his hand. Instead, he looked at Charles Bond with cold, steely eyes. "Keep your greetings to yourself, Mr. Bond. I'm disappointed in you. How dare you use your fame and wealth to bully children? That's not what a true superstar does." His voice rose with authority, and everyone around them felt the heat of his anger. "You should be ashamed of yourself." The students around them stood frozen, wide-eyed, whispering in disbelief. Charlotte's father looked down, his face flushing red with humiliation. He had no words to offer in response. Later that afternoon, as the sun dipped low in the sky, casting a golden glow over the school courtyard, Sophia and Henry sat on a bench, lost in their thoughts. They had endured so much over the past few weeks: bullying, humiliation, and fear. But now, everything had changed. The silence between them was broken by the sound of hesitant footsteps. Sophia's heart skipped a beat as she looked up to see Charlotte and Ava walking toward them, their heads lowered in shame. Their steps were slow, as if they were carrying the weight of the world. Charlotte, her usual arrogance replaced by guilt, spoke first in a quiet, almost uncertain voice. "We're really sorry, Sophia." She glanced up briefly, but quickly looked away, unable to meet Sophia's eyes. Ava stood beside her, shifting uncomfortably from foot to foot. Sophia stared at them for a long moment, her face serious, her heart conflicted. Finally, she spoke, her voice steady but laced with a quiet strength. "You are not sorry because you've changed," she said, her tone making Charlotte flinch. "You're sorry because you got caught." With that, Sophia turned away, her back straight, her resolve unshaken. Henry followed her without a word, his gaze lingering on the two girls standing in the courtyard, their faces flushed with embarrassment. Charlotte and Ava stood there, speechless, feeling more exposed and humiliated than they ever had before. As Sophia and Henry walked away, the weight of their words settled in. The atmosphere around Charlotte and Ava grew heavier, and they were left alone, unable to deny the truth of what they had done. The news spread like wildfire. It didn't take long for the story to reach the media, and soon every major TV station was broadcasting the scandal. The public outrage was immediate. People were shocked by how Charles Bond, the famous actor, had used his influence to protect his daughter's cruel behavior. They were furious when they saw how far he'd gone to defend Charlotte's actions. At the prestigious award ceremony Charles Bond had been nominated for, the crowd turned on him. The energy in the room shifted. Whispers turned to murmurs, and murmurs to shouts of condemnation. The organizers, feeling the pressure, quickly canceled his nomination, unable to ignore the mounting public outcry. It was a moment of humiliation for the actor, and it only got worse from there. Charles Bond's once celebrated career began to unravel in a way no one had seen coming. Epic Studios, which had once trusted him for major projects, dropped him. The scandals surrounding his daughter and his involvement in enabling bullying had destroyed his reputation. His fans, who had once adored him, now turned their backs on him. The anger toward him was palpable, and many felt betrayed by the man who had once been their hero.